Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at X-Men Prime, an all-new X-Men event from the 90s. Look at this gorgeous wraparound, like, I don't even, holofoil cover with gorgeous BRYAN Hitch art back in the day when he was still an Alan Davis clone. Low-key excited to bring this to you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Let's get right into it. This looks so fun and cool. X-Men Prime. I don't even know what, like, special event this was for. He's trapped in a world that hates and fears him, and his only friend may be the X-Men's greatest enemy, X-Man. A new monthly from Jeff Loeb, Steve Scrooge, and Bud LaRosa. How cool. Look at this gorgeous splash page of Jean Grey. Summers, mind you. BRYAN Hitch. Oh my god, it's the 90s. You have to turn the book sideways. 1995. I always say this is the inevitable point in an Image comic where I turn the book sideways, and I never mind because it's to show off gorgeous art. Here we go. Scott Lobdell and Fabian Nicieza writers. BRYAN Hitch, Jeff Matsuda, Gary Frank, Mike Mccone, Terry Dodson, Bren Herrera, and Paul Pelletier. Pencilers, Al Milgram, Pete Gressel, Cam Smith, Mark Farmer, Mark McKenna, Tom Palmer, Tim Townsend, and Hector Collazo inkers. It'll be fun to see if I can differentiate the art, which I'm sure I'll be able to do, but let's see. Richard Starkings and Comicraft lettering, Steve Buccellato and Electric Crayon coloring. I always liked the name Electric Crayon. I thought it was pretty cool. Bob Harris, editor-in-chief. The Dark Days of Marvel. Ding dong, ding dong. This is fun. So BRYAN Hitch obviously would go on. I feel like his most famous thing is The Ultimates, and people would love his work and just like live for it. Now I see him criticized a lot, and I don't know why, because I think he's still amazing. Like, if you look at this, it's weird because he's so capable and such a great artist, but he's definitely like an Alan Davis sort of influenced or clone. At this point, like, if you look at like the shading and just like the way he draws fingers, Alan Davis always draws like fingers like this together. So let's look for it through here and see if he's homaging that, which I'm sure he will be at some point. But I really did like BRYAN Hitch's art. I think he did like a She-Hulk special around this time. And clearly we've moved into the Jeff Matsuda era. Jeff Matsuda, discovered by Rob Liefeld for his Extreme Studios Talent Hunt, which drew all like the New Men, did some stuff at Marvel, and then worked on like a Batman cartoon, and either works in animation or video games or storyboards, like a lot of comic book artists do. It's funny because I always felt, especially at this point, like he was still slightly amateur, but there was so much excitement and like coolness to his art that, you know, he still got work anyway. I mean, I feel like we're still sort of at the point that comic book artists got hired a lot, you know, on their potential, and then were allowed to sort of grow and improve, you know, as they went along. And I feel it's less like that. I feel like you pretty much have to be, you know, completely professional. And we're moving on to Mccone. This is Mike Mccone. This is way easier than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, they're such different. And then we're back to Jeff Matsuda all of a sudden. So it's going to be all over the place. BRYAN Hitch. Ben Herrera. That's interesting. I like Ben Herrera's art. He did a Star miniseries for Image. I know he did some other stuff, but I feel like he was kind of a little bit of the manga-influenced artist around this time. But I enjoyed his work. I did. It's pretty distinct and stylistic. Mccone. Hitch. Could almost be a drinking game. I'm always trying to turn my show into a drinking game. I don't know why. Comics and alcohol, like, don't necessarily go together, but I mean, does this not look like Alan Davis right here? That's such an Alan Davis thing happening. There's like Alan Davis hands, like, for sure. Almost the two fingers in the middle together. Almost. We're almost there. Back to Jeff Matsuda. Terry Dodson. We forgot he was part of this. I love Terry Dotson's art. I feel like, and I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but I really feel like Terry Dodson started out as like sort of an Adam Hughes clone and definitely evolved himself. So we've got an Alan Davis clone and an Adam Hughes clone in here. And when I say that, I don't mean that as disparaging. I think a lot of comic book artists started out emulating the style of an artist that they loved. You know, definitely I was copying all my favorite artists back to Mike Mccone, you know, when I was like learning to draw, and it's like you can't help but just like be so influenced and so inspired by such great art. If you're an artist yourself, it's hard to not want to sort of do the same thing or see if you can do it or your version of it. Still on Mike Mccone, BRYAN HITCH. Is that Roma? Just popping out of nowhere. Is it? No, it's Storm. Is it Storm? What is she doing? Anyway, this is so confusing. Oh, here comes... Oh, no, Gary Frank. I forgot about Gary Frank. But look at his style is so distinctive, too. Interesting. How do we feel? You know, Gary Frank feels like he's had kind of an evolution as an artist. Did I feel sort of like he was a little influenced by Alan Davis, too? Do you guys see that at all? I loved his stuff on the Hulk with like Cam Smith and loved like the smoother finish to his inks. And then I feel like he went to Top Cow and started being inked by Jonathan Sybil and like going for this like more detailed sort of image kind of finish. That definitely changed the aesthetic of his art. And I prefer the old school like Cam Smith style inking, but it still looks good. I do like Gary Frank's art. Trust Jeff MATSUDA. Terry Dotson. I mean, what the hell was even going on here, guys? Like, what is this tie-in? I have no idea. Like, I feel like at this point I was just basically picking up the X-Men out of habit. You know, it's like post-Chris Claremont. Everything's kind of crazy. Oops, did I drop the ball? And I think, okay, so Hitch, Frank, MATSUDA, Hitch, and Hitch. Spider-Man: The Lost Years. Cool, huh? I think I covered that too. Anyway, that's a weird cover to end on. Or how did they do this? The cover's kind of see-through, but you're not really getting that on the front? Or is this stuck together? What's happening? What's happening? Did this come... Oh my god, is this like falling apart? Is this supposed to be stuck together? Huh. Who knew? I thought it would last forever. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. I'll bring you more later.